Hello everybody, welcome back to another Stacey West preview show. My name is Jake. We're here as always, back-to-back recordings. It's strange during these strange times, but we're back again. Swindon at home on Tuesday night. Ben is back. How are you doing, mate?
Not bad, mate. Yeah, I'm good as can be anyway.
Well, it's good to have you on again. Obviously, you're very popular from the last preview that we did that ended up in a 1-0 win for Lincoln. But let's just talk about, obviously, around, I think I just watched the video last time we did, and we just spoke, and it was John Sheridan's first week in charge of Swindon. And you know, as someone that follows you on Twitter, I see that you're quite against the regime. Just give us a bit more insight as to how it's gone and why you probably have the opinion that you do.
Well, where do you start? I could spend an hour just talking and telling everyone how badly it's been, how badly it's gone, and the state of the club and how badly it's run, the neglect of everything basically, and how we're doing a lot worse than all the other promoted teams. But if I try and sum it up, there's a current court case for ownership battle of the club that's been going on since last March. We currently have an owner, Lee Power, who doesn't want the club anymore. He's disinterested. He doesn't talk to the fans. I think he's spoken to us twice since March, both times to say that he's skint and he doesn't want to invest in the club anymore, and we've got no money. He wants to sell the club. There was a court injunction preventing him selling the club because a gentleman called Michael Standing claims that he owns 50% of the club. And if he owns 50% of the club, he is the outright owner. So this went to a preliminary hearing, and the judge has said that it will go to trial, a 5-day trial, and that will happen sometime between December 2021 and March 2022. So we're stuck with him unless there's an out-court settlement. He since then, he has been busy trying to sell all the assets, stripping all the assets. He's quite livid. He's not bothered if we stay up or go down. He claims the club's about to go bust. If it is about to go bust, it's because of money that he's removed or taken out of the club, because we shouldn't be in that position. We made a decent load of money from Jayden Bogle, possibly even 7 figures over Jayden Bogle's sale on the sell-on. We made a good 6-figure fee on the compensation for Wellens. We made a decent 6-figure fee, possibly, around between 400, 500,000 on the sale of DJ Jassimi to Charlton. There's other sales as well that's Power's made, that obviously is undisclosed. There's the handouts from the Football League and the Premier League, which total around about $1 million. We shouldn't be in any financial trouble, really. He's come out, the only time he speaks in the press is when he's come out of court. He's trying to get rid of the club. He's trying to get Standing just to back down, just so he can sell the club. Or he's saying he'll kill the club, but Standing's not going to do it. Standing claims that he's put about 6 million quid in the club. So he's asking for his money back or the keys to the club. So Power's disputing that. So we have to wait. It goes to court. We might have to wait till March next year. By then, the club could be bottom of League 2. Yeah. So that's a nutshell. That's the state of boardroom level where we are. Manager-wise, he's picked his mate who's dealt with clubs who have sold players under him before in the past. He's not going to sack him. The football is turgid, dull, long ball. It's not very pretty. The fans can't protest. They can't be speaking because we're in the middle of a pandemic. So we can't do anything. All we can do is moan online. And that's where we are. That's why we're 5th from bottom.
Well, because last time when we spoke, you had just beaten Bristol Rovers at home 2-1. Is that right? And
1-0. Yeah,
1-0, and you were quite optimistic about John Sheridan, but clearly that seems to have gone downhill.
Yeah, he didn't like. Well, yeah. At the time, you try and stick to it, right? It's a new manager. He obviously has a clear plan and clear thought. He's been around the block, so he's obviously not stupid. And hopefully he will just try and make us hard to beat. And at the time, we were conceding horrendous goals. I mean, comically silly. We had the worst goalkeeper, the second worst goalkeeper I've seen in the club for 30 years. And we just we were in pieces, horrible. Just playing nasty football. And I was thinking, he'll just shore us up. It'll be boring, but it will be enough to keep us up because we had good players at the club. Well, those good players have left us now. Those players with any ounce of creativity, we've got one or two left. But the most of them, the Matty Smiths and the Jassimis are all gone.
Yeah,
we had a player, Freeman from Sheffield United. We thought it was an absolute bargain buy, absolutely brilliant signing. Been promoted from Blades from League One level all the way to the Premier League. Last game was in the Premier League against Tottenham. He was at the club 3 weeks. We signed him on a deal full time, and he stayed here for 3 weeks. There's Mark Trevors we signed from Bournemouth. Again, unbelievable signing. Great keeper, great, spells in the Premier League with Bournemouth and top, good level Championship keeper. He was there for a little while, and then he got recalled because Begovic was injured. But Begovic isn't really injured because he played on the weekend, but he got recalled because he's injured. So I think it's just like, get me out of here type thing. And I think Freeman's agent was just ringing around who would take him.
Yeah,
I think it's like that at the moment. I think it's just an horrible place to be. We played Portsmouth the other week away from home.
Yeah,
and I don't know if you've been reading my timeline, you read the feed, that it was quite an eye opener.
Yeah,
because the iFollow, the commentary wasn't working.
Yeah.
So we watched the whole game, and obviously with no commentary, it's just like watching a game in the park. You can hear everything.
Yeah.
And all you heard all game was Sheridan just abusing the players.
Yeah.
And nothing helped. Yeah. He was just pelters all game. You might have heard that.
Yeah.
He was just, it was horrible, the stuff that he was coming out with. None of it was constructive. And it was that game after that Trevor's left.
Yeah.
And he was asked to defend himself after that in the press, and it's just not very nice at the minute. It's just you go through testing times. I think the contrast between last season, the total football and the Wellens ball that we played, and the high tempo and the pass, brilliant last season, and it's just everything's gone wrong.
Yeah. No,
it's just like you live through it, and hopefully you come out the other side. And if we still got club, then brilliant.
Yeah. Well, I saw the clip you're on about. I think it was Brett Pittman. He seemed to be giving quite a bit of stick to, from what I remember. But
that was one.
It could have been worse. You could have dealt with the Portsmouth commentary that we had to deal with when we went to Fratton Park, and it was horrendous. Absolutely awful. Anyway, transfer window then. Obviously, I watched the game away at Ipswich where you won 3-2. Is that right? And
we did. That was the best performance by far.
And there was some, from what Dominic Thompson from Brentford was a signing that I quite like the look of when he played.
Yeah.
And then the recalling of Scott Twine seemed to be a bit of a master. That goal that he scored for the third goal was, probably one of the goals of the season, undoubtedly. Yeah. Were you overall happy with what they did in the window?
Yeah, well, we thought when that Ipswich game came back, we had 5 newbies came. Morgan turned up, Freeman just turned up, and Freeman just turned up. And Dominic Thompson just signed. There's another one to round out. He's been Sheridan. He's progressively worse each game.
Yeah.
Because he's just been Sheridan, basically. At the time, he was a really fast 3 assists he had that game. Fast, carefree wing back. Loads of pace, great cross on him, tracks back, good defender of the ball as well, good player. But his confidence is shot to pieces. He's not quite the same as he was back then, and you'll see that tomorrow night. But yeah, we had Matty Palmer come back from Wigan, and he looked quite useful then. Again, he's another player who got a lot of stick the other day whose form's dropped. Twine's fallen off the edge of the cliff. He now comes on as sub for the last few minutes. He was best player in League Two this season. He's created, I think, I was reading stats when he came back, 23 chances. He scored 5 efforts for Newport outside the box.
Yeah.
He's just got a wonderful strike on him. And he still has. But he's another one who's been Sheridan a little bit. Tomorrow, when you see us play, we'll play 5 at the back, 2 defensive, holder defenders, and we'll just try and shit house a point.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. And that's what we do pretty much every game. And so it's not his sort of thing, really. So he'll come on if we need a goal. He'll come on the last 10 minutes, and just hope for the best. But he's not got much. The poor lad's struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for better things when Sheridan leaves, but he won't get sacked. Who else? Obviously we had Travers in goal, who was absolutely blinding son. He's gone. And Masterson as well is signed, and he was a cracking signing for QPR. Played quite a few games in the Championship. QPR fans said you'll love him. Done his hamstring, gone back to QPR for the season. So we're quite a good team, but that was their first game back, so there was buzz about them, there was energy. We looked really good, but obviously Sheridan's got his teeth into them and sucked all that out. So it's you'll see tomorrow. I know I'm waffling and I'm rabbiting on about, you barely asked me anything, but I've got a lot on my chest.
No, it's good. It's good, Ben. We want all the insight that we can get from opposition fans. And one player that a lot of Lincoln fans have been asking me to ask you about Jack Payne. Obviously, we spoke about him last time he came on, and you said he was one of your better players, consistent. Probably just didn't fit the Sheridan style of play.
Yeah.
How's he got on?
Yeah, as expected, really. He's getting regular football, but Swindon have been gone from 4-4-2, and we've changed, which doesn't really suit him, and we've changed now to sort of 5-3-2, which again is not really him. He either plays on the wing, stuck out wide. He's played wing back as well, which is ridiculous. Yeah. he's either stuck out wide, or playing a more central midfield role.
Yeah.
Again, it's a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah.
He's obviously got creativity and he's got talent, but you can clearly watch him. He's frustrated a little bit. He has his moments. Largely floats by the game, though not doing that much. The Swindons, until Saturday, we went through 4 hours of football with only 1 shot on target.
Right.
So it shows you how well we can get looking going forward.
Yeah. Yeah, so we should be terrified. We should be terrified then.
Yeah, well, to balance the play tomorrow, I can tell you how it's going to go. Straight away we'll play 5 at the back, 2 centre home fielders, and we'll just sit there. And we'll let you have the ball. And just come and attack us. They'll just you'll come at us. You'll come at us. You'll come at us. And if we're 1 down, we won't change. You let them come at us. Last 15 minutes, then we'll start. If we're still in the game, we'll break out. We'll start making attacking options. We did that at Hull, and to be fair, we nearly nicked a late equaliser. We were 1 down. We scored already 2 efforts at Charlton and drew 2-2.
Yeah.
So it's I don't think we'll get thrashed, but it's going to be a largely forgettable game. We'll time waste. We'll niggle. We'll just annoy and shit house.
Yeah.
And see if we can nick something. And longer the game goes on, if you get frustrated. But at the end of the day, you're top of the league for a reason.
Yeah.
You're top of the league because you play a lot of teams at home who try and come for a point, play defensive. And if you're patient, not like we were last year, if you're patient, you play good football, you might not get something in the first half, but sooner or later, you'll get that chance. You'll get that chance. You score, you should win the game, because I don't see Swindon scoring. So, it's. I think you'll. I think it'll be forgettable, but I think you'll come out winners.
And let's try and shift the negativity to one side and talk about some sort of positivity.
Yeah, go on.
You won on Saturday, from what I can remember.
We
beat Crewe.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what? If you could speak to a Crewe fan about that game, they would be spewing. They took the lead after 5 minutes, and they largely had control of the first half. They scored an absolutely comical own goal, which was quite hilarious because we carried on our long streak without shot on target again throughout that first half. Second half was a bit better by us. There was a little bit more about us. We were a little bit more creative on top. We actually had a shot on target. Yeah. I think we had 2 or 3 shots on target, which was brilliant. Which is more we've had in like weeks of football put together, which was like champagne stuff. So brilliant. But they missed chance after chance after chance after chance. They created, so they're a lovely footballing side, and they just controlled the tempo, they controlled the game, they had most of the possession. They're really good. But as Crewe do, and they're a bit naive. They're a good footballing, but they're a bit naive, and they just, from too many times trying to find a win, they just committed one too many players going forward late on, and they just sucker punch. And probably one of our best move of the game, the whole game, the best move. And we won it in the 93rd minute. And I felt for them. I was over the moon. I so felt for them. I was gutted because it was so. Yeah, we got battered. Even after the game, we went. We were kind of surprised that we won that, but we won, and it's confidence. So hopefully, we've not managed to string 2 results together all season. Not even 2 draws. Every time we've got something, we've lost the following day. Which is another great omen for you. But if it's just that little bit of finish, that little bit of confidence, and it may well be that the club suffered because of this lack of confidence. I don't think we've got a manager that inspires anything, and he's going through quite some hard times personally as well, Sheridan. I think we know that, so that might have affected the way he's done. He's lost both his parents at Christmas time. His wife's had a cancer scare. The fans hate him, so he's going for a tough time himself.
I can imagine.
But, so I'm hoping that it brings a little bit of confidence. I love to be competitive tomorrow. I love to put in a performance like we did at Ipswich. That would make it a good one if we can. But again, some of the players that played well are just not with us anymore. Like just see me, he's gone, and he was brilliant that day.
He was,
yeah. So it's. But there you go.
let's look back then. Obviously, after we spoke, the game at the county ground finished 1-0 to Lincoln. A bit of a comical mistake from Kovar, who's since gone back to Man United. What was your thoughts on that game?
Well, you came down here. We tried to shithouse win Sheridan's way, is that word again? But we sat back. We let you have the ball. We played like an away team basically because we know you got some quality. We know you got a bit about you. So we thought that we could just probably nick a set play and just let you have the ball, control it. And you know what? It nearly worked. It wasn't for the Kovar mistake. We probably would have got 0-0.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a game to write home about. It wasn't, it's not on a way when that you're going to remember much. And I think the only thing you remember out of it was the Kovar error and Baldry missing a header towards the end of the game for us when we nearly nicked a point. And I think that's the only thing you can write about the game. I think you did enough to win. I think you won in 3rd gear. I think you weren't brilliant that night. I think you probably felt that you could have done more to create more.
Yeah.
But it was a solid away win and a clean sheet and a good confidence fill it. So it was, to Lincoln's point of view, it was a solid but forgettable win.
I think he should have scored at the end as well. So it was a bit gilt-edged, wasn't it?
Yeah, Bowdy had a free header.
Yeah,
he had free header at the end of the box. If he headed on target rather than over, it would finish 1-1, and we would have nicked an undeserved point.
Yeah.
But it would have been unfair and unjust. But so rightfully it went over. Shame for us, but rightfully, it wouldn't have been fair.
And then let's just talk about tomorrow. Then you've said that you feel like Swindon are going to come and try and nick a point and do whatever it takes.
Down. Yeah, we'll come back that out. We'll probably try and hit a few in the break. We've got players with pace that can hurt you. If you give Scott Twine a sight in front of goal, he will shoot.
Yeah.
So you can be wary of that. And he's got one of the best shots in the league. He's got so good in front of goal. You've got players like Thompson who's got pace that can break on you. We've got big men as well at the back. Players who've just come back from injury. Players like Broadbent, who's quite good, who is so set plays will be a handful. If the delivery is quite good, we have got creative players. We just don't play creative football.
Yeah.
We've got Pittman as well. So I think if we're, I think if you score first, I think you'd be fairly comfortable. If somehow we nick one, then it could be quite a tense night for you, because we will just lock the doors and we will not move.
And what do you think the score is going to be finally?
2-0 Lincoln.
2-0, okay.
2-0 Lincoln. I think it's solid 2-0.
I think we'd definitely take that, given the fact that all the teams around us seem to be winning at the same bloody time.
Well, yeah, the good thing, it's amazing how we are still, the one glimmer of hope that I give us, the small glimmer of hope, is the bottom 6 below Shrewsbury. So incredibly bad.
Yeah.
They are all, there is definitely a drop-off from Shrewsbury, who were in that bottom, but pointed a good manager. And then you drop off to the other 6. 6 or 7, but you're like to see Wimbledon's, us, Northampton, terrible sides.
Yeah,
and
they are.
This is, we're 2 points above the drop zone. I can't believe that.
No, me neither.
So it's just, they are awful. I think Bristol Rovers will sort it out eventually, because I think that's a good appointment.
Yeah,
I think we end up today. They're getting Barton. I think he will sort them out. I think he's well drilled. He'll get them. He'll keep them up. So that's another team that's been ruled out. But if we are the 5th worst team, that will go me. And hopefully the nightmare will be over and Powell will leave and there's some sort of settlement out of court.
Yeah.
We have the glimmer of hope the club do have. I try and finish on some sort of positive. So we've got a bloke who does want to buy the club, and a bloke called Clem Morfini, who had a court injunction against Lee Power, which was settled out of court, because Clem Morfini gave him £1.5 million for 15% of the shares of the club. So Lee Power didn't hand over. He didn't hand over the shares. Still denies that Clem is a director, but he is. He's now officially a director of the club. Lee Power doesn't release books or anything. We don't know where the club is financially. He doesn't. He's been sole director since throughout his period. But now we've got one, him, and he openly wants to own the club. He was before COVID struck. He was a non-executive director, and he was the driving force behind the ownership of the county ground, where he worked with the trust. He's in constant dialogue with the trust. They say that he speaks to them weekly. He goes that he used to go sit the away fan, go stand with the away fans, and he'll go sit in the town and the home end. So he does all the right things you want an owner to do. Be a bit passionate about the club. He's a man with money. He owns Axis, who specialise in stadium development. Is an American-based firm. He's an American bloke. He owns legitimate companies across the world. He's got a bit of money, and he actually wants to own the club.
Yeah.
So that's the hope. But if Standing gets the money, he'll sell the club. He'll sell it to Clem, and then we can just heal, and we can get better, and we can start to get better again. But I think what was the most deflating thing was just we were expecting this to be sorted in the summer.
Yeah.
They said it could be March 2022 before Powell can leave. He's not allowed to put the club administration, but he can't sell the club until it's sorted. So it needs to be sorted out of court. But that's where we are. So that's us.
That's incredible insight. It's really interesting from a neutral sort of point of view. And obviously we hope you get it sorted, because we don't want another traditional football club to be falling down the leagues, like we have Bolton, Wigan, etc. But thank you very much, Ben, for coming on. I'm sure we'll have a chat off air again.
Yeah.
Where can Lincoln fans sort of get your cheeky little comments whilst the game's kicking off tomorrow?
Cheeky little comments. Probably because I might not be able to catch the game, but yeah. If my Twitter handle is Pyman80 at Pyman80. Okay. So yeah, if you want to tune in and just catch me on that, you can do. You're more than welcome. I do a number of podcasts with Town Fans as well, which comes out on a Friday. as well. So you can catch me a few other Swindon fans. If you want to hear a load of old men moaning in a pit of misery, then
they've already got that with the Stacey West, mate. They've already got that with the Stacey West.
Well, it's a similar thing. It's just started over the last few months as a Swindon fan. Actually, wants to do a video where all of us once a month all to get together and have a little video for that. Basically, you would have a chat about the club, the state, and each game and transfers and so in the pub. And I'm on that fairly regularly. So you want to catch that? That's that. So that's me. If you want to say hello, say hi.
So thank you very much for coming on again. Thank you everybody else for watching, and we'll see you in the week for Plymouth.